Welcome to today's workshop. My name is Allison, and I will be conducting today's workshop on how to increase learning retention by implementing specific design strategies when developing computer-based training lessons, often referred to as CBTs. Upon completion of this workshop, my goal is that you are able to list 2 reasons why computer-based training has gained a bad reputation, name a strategy that CBT developers can employ to help prevent cognitive overload, explain why CBT developers should implement retrieval practice, and list 3 ways that basic retrieval practice can be augmented. So we begin today with this problem statement. Computer-based training courses, commonly referred to as CBTs, have gained a bad reputation. Think about the last time you had to take a CBT. Perhaps when training for a new job, as an annual requirement at work, or maybe even for continuing education purposes. Now think about how excited you were to complete that CBT. If you are like most of us, you probably weren't all that excited. In my current job, we use CBTs to complete annual training, earn certifications, learn new software systems, and the list goes on. It makes sense though, if you really think about it. CBTs are a relatively inexpensive way to deliver consistent material to a large and diverse workforce. Many organizations are composed of extremely diverse groups that are spread out across the globe. So it makes sense why CBTs are used so frequently. So why then do people dislike CBTs so much? Students dislike CBTs because they feel like they are a waste of time. I would argue this is one of the main reasons that CBTs have gained a bad reputation. They are often chock full of so much information and do not incorporate effective learning methods. Therefore, the student comes away feeling that they wasted their time opposed to having learned valuable information. Often, CBTs make the mistake of cramming too much information into a single lesson. I have had many experiences when I open a lesson only to find that it has 50 plus pages or is estimated to take over an hour to complete. Furthermore, as I go through it, I find page after page exploding with information. So, you should design CBTs in a way that avoids overloading the student. They will not be able to remember everything. According to the cognitive load theory developed by John Sweller, as well as the cognitive theory of multimedia learning developed by Richard Mayer, the working memory has a limited capacity. Information can only be held in the working memory for a limited amount of time, especially when it is brand new information. Instead, we, as CBT designers, should design them to focus on only the key points and eliminate irrelevant information. This cognitive theory of multimedia learning emphasizes that people process visual and verbal information independently. And though they can process a limited amount of information in each channel, they can do so at the same time. Furthermore, learning is a process that involves receiving information, organizing it into a relevant framework, and then integrating it with previous knowledge. Therefore, when designing a CBT, make sure to include information that can be processed through visual and verbal channels, but be careful not to overload either channel. Most often, one high-quality photo per page is sufficient, with one big idea listed. The voiceover and closed captioning can call out a few more specific details. CBTs are often just page after page of text and pictures. This design feature would imply that as long as the student reads the material, that is enough to commit it to memory. But simply reading learning material, even if it is multiple times, is not sufficient for effective learning. The interesting thing is that according to research conducted by McDaniel and Callender, when students are surveyed regarding their study habits, they most frequently name reading, rereading, and repetition as their go-to study habits. What these studies have shown is that rote repetition and rereading are actually among the least effective study methods for improving retention and learning. Now that we know that rereading and rote repetition are ineffective learning methods, Let's discuss what is an effective learning method. That leads us to what is known as retrieval practice. This is an activity that causes the student to recall what they have learned and put it to use. You should integrate retrieval practice into CBTs in order to increase their effectiveness and get the students to interact with the material. Students are challenged to try and remember what they have learned, and it is those very challenges that increase the likelihood that it will be able to be remembered in the future. One of the best things you can do is utilize low stakes quizzes to help students practice retrieval when taking CBTs. The quizzes can take many forms that may be perceived as more fun and interactive among students. Things such as memory games, matching activities, Pictionary, etc. For example, you can ask questions and award points to unlock virtual trophies, or award a piece of a puzzle that you're trying to solve each time you get a question correct. People also enjoy classic activities like crosswords during retrieval activities. One way to make retrieval practice even more effective is to spread out quiz questions over the course of the lesson. You should ask a question every 5 to 10 minutes, or every 2 to 3 pages, or after a small section of information. Spacing out the retrieval activities included in your lesson can help students recall information more easily because memory consolidation takes time. It can't happen all at once. Spacing allows students to interact with the material over a period of time and therefore make strong, solid memories. A second way to augment retrieval practice is to mix up the types and order of quiz questions so that retrieval practice is varied. You want to make sure that you don't ask the questions in the same exact order as the material was originally presented. This is helpful because it is easier to remember things in a sequential order. And when a retrieval activity is easier, it's actually less likely to stick. Varied practice also mimics real world situations and strengthens the ties students make with what they are learning. One last way to augment retrieval practice is to delay activities to make the retrieval more challenging. In this case, it allows for some forgetting to set in and makes the student work harder to remember the information. This additional effort will also strengthen memory and connections with the material. Allow for some time to pass before asking students to retrieve the information on a quiz or assessment game. If your training includes multiple lessons, don't be afraid to ask students questions about the material that they completed in an earlier lesson. To summarize, CBTs have gained a bad reputation because they are not designed effectively, and thus students feel that their time is wasted because they are not retaining the information learned when reviewing CBTs. In order to avoid that situation, CBT developers should design lessons that focus on key points and do not overload students with too much information. Furthermore, CBTs that incorporate retrieval practice activities will make learning that much more effective. Retrieval practice can be augmented by spacing out the activities, mixing up the types of questions, and delaying activities. These things make retrieval more challenging and in the process strengthen learning. Thank you for your attention during this workshop. I hope that you are able to utilize and implement the CBT design strategies that we have discussed.